Good afternoon, everyone. As I've said, I am Harold Lim, and basically, I would like to discuss how can Schneider help, right, support your digital transformation initiatives by having a reliable and available support facilities infrastructure. Basically, just over the agenda, so just discuss the market and digital disruptors, so business drivers, challenges in meeting new demands, edge computing, how we can help, EcoStruxure with IT and building, and then some Q&A later, and then a quick quiz for everyone, right? Okay, so moving on. Okay, so let's first look at the technology trends, right, that are creating both opportunities to accelerate business and competitive pressures from those early adopters in industry that leverage on what we considered before as developing technologies. Companies are investing actually in different types of technologies to collect, process, and transmit data in real time so that they can accelerate processes, improve their customer responsiveness and experience, and even increase their speed to market. With this adoption, we saw smart retail, smart cities, smart buildings begin to emerge. So, however, more recent technologies such as IoTs are beginning even more opportunities to accelerate change and a need to further digitize our work. Okay, so to gain a competitive edge, many companies are looking beyond the developed technologies. So basically, they're embracing IoT and AI. All right. So after all, it was really just a few years ago we were talking about IoT as an emerging technology. So now it's actually a real reality, and we are looking at AI as a developing technology. So very shortly, most of us will consider AI as something developed. So digital transformation. Okay, so what are these digital transformation or disruptors that we can see in different uh, sectors or verticals, right? Okay, so for retail, we can see self-checkout kiosks in restaurants, groceries and convenience stores, electronic shelf labelers, right? Like to easily change or update prices in groceries and grocery shelves, right? Okay. So in finance, there'll always be your mobile banking, your ATMs, your automatic deposit machines. For healthcare, due to the pandemic, electronic consultation is getting more prominent. So it is imperative that doctors and patients' data are always secure and taken care of. So hence, the infrastructure supporting this at the back end should have all the necessary security, storage, and compute power. So for education, there will always be the remote learnings, augmented reality trainings, and mobile education, right? Which is again would consume some compute power to support these initiatives. In manufacturing, there is Industry 4.0. So basically, it is a transformation that makes it possible to gather and analyze data across different machines. So enabling faster and more flexible and more efficient process to produce higher quality goods at a very reduced cost. Okay, so what are the common strategic business objectives that are best to leverage from these digital technology advancements, right? So one, create creating a superior customer experience. Right? So of course, right now, customer satisfaction is very key and important in gaining the business, right, of each and every one. So we wanted the customer experience to be very uh, engaging and highly flexible to meet the customer's demands. Next would be streamline the business process to decrease the costs. Okay. So you also have automating workflows to increase productivity, then digitizing core processes to increase speed to market. So of course, in doing this, there will be challenges, right? So introducing these new technologies from smart factories to digital health to video analytics this would require a whole different type of computing support, like considering that today's customers would want real-time, on-demand, personalized experience. So they don't tolerate delays or downtime, actually. So Gartner, they summarizes the critical requirements in meeting these new technology objectives in five factors. One would be latency, to reduce latency to less than 100 milliseconds or so. Security, ensure privacy and security of data being collected while complying with regulatory requirements. Bandwidth, be able to handle massive data streams and interpret them locally to the client or users. And then interactivity, supports interactive experiences like virtual reality, AI, and the others, right? So autonomy, of course, you need to better monitor remote autonomous locations, whether that's a retail store or on-site technology. So edge computing actually bridges these challenges. So when we look at these requirements of delivering low latency, autonomy, security, adequate bandwidth, and interactivity, it's not surprising that bringing the compute closer to the user is the best approach to bridge the gap, right? So new technologies such as uh, virtual reality, AR, or for immersive experiences, IT deployed to a remote location for a fully technological driven solution, or on-site healthcare data storage solutions that would keep regulated data safe, right? So businesses are relying on technology actually to power their most important outcomes. So from the customer experience to increasing automation and productivity, and all require real-time data locally without any delays or without any compromise for security. Okay, so edge computing actually moves the application and data that people and devices need closer to them. So it's a type of IT deployment that moves away from big cloud-based data centers and more towards distributed IT. Okay, so what are the top challenges of edge solutions, right? That you can see. So one would be physical security. So it is a major focus due to the rise of regulations and cause of data breaches, which are often caused by physical security issues. In fact, 29% of the data breaches are due to physical security, and $4 million is the average cost of a corporate data breach. Furthermore, the new regulation making physical security compulsory, it's not surprising that over 50% of the CIOs point to security as a major focus for them personally. So these security concerns are as important at an edge data center as your enterprise cloud data center. So next would be deployment. It's a critical consideration actually, as most companies are working at incredible speed with few resources and limited expertise, right? So, for example, the skills gap is growing. Well, Gartner has predicted that by starting 2022, 75% of the organizations will experience visible business disruption due to infrastructure and operational skills gap. Right? Next would be management. So in this environment, will be critical to ensure maximum performance and business success. So the IT staff in many enterprises are already at capacity and learning new skills and deployment and management strategies is challenged while maintaining existing solutions, right? So in fact, 25% of IT staff have suffered stress-related illness already, and 2019 survey listed IT managers among the top 25 most stressful jobs in the US. Right? So continues evolving and fast pace of these implementations would really affects or factors in with the stress levels of the management. Right? So in the deployment, we were talking about deployment a while ago, and now we're gonna look into the environmental challenges, right? So another consideration is the actual edge computing physical environment that is that is primary concern for many businesses actually. So as the edge data center may be in space, not originally designed for IT equipment, right? So one, the industrial environment. So it may be a harsh environment with challenges such as temperature control, dust, even exposure to water. And it may not have the same restricted access, right? So next would be in commercial and office environments. Like for example, in a hospital, retail outlet, or educational location, the space will likely be more of a commercial office environment. But however, while likely not subject to the same environmental concerns as industrial locations, they may lack restricted access and have a noise restrictions. And finally, IT environments. So some clients have the ideal IT environment available, but again, these might be traditional wiring closets or telecom rooms, ensuring availability of adequate power and security will continue to be of primary concern. So answering these challenges, so how do we address these challenges together? So we believe there are three critical enablers to address the key challenges in the environmental concerns, right? So one, edge management software and services. So for the reason we discussed, we believe it's most critical to have a management software and services to support these critical objectives. The distributed nature plus limited qualified IT staff drives an increasing need for a comprehensive management solution. Next would be ecosystem of partners. Okay, so considering the complexity of technology, the solutions, the security requirements, and the other services involved, you will require an ecosystem of partners or a partner that can bring an ecosystem. So we believe that no one can solve the challenge of their no one can solve the challenge on their own. So it should be really an ecosystem of partners that is required, right? It comes in with your physical infrastructure vendors, your servers, your IT equipment manufacturers, your system integrators, and your managed service providers. So next would be with this should be an integrated system. So in this distributed IT architecture, standardization and customization is required and best delivered by integrated systems. Okay, so here we have the breadth or an overview of the portfolio of Schneider Electric, right? So from the cloud-based management of EcoStruxure IT, from the micro data centers to the row data centers and up to the modular data centers through containers, right? From there, we have the solutions that would support of the security, the power, the cooling, and then the enclosures as well, of course. And then alongside with that, of course, definitely would be the services that envelopes all of these products to have a harmonious ecosystem as well with regards to the facility protection. So just a brief overview of our micro data center solutions. So on the left, the wall mount 6U MDC. So this is a small footprint that wherein you can easily deploy basically like in your offices that you just have to plug into or to stick it into a wall wherein you can already fit in the UPS and the servers that will be required, and you can put in servers that can also act as your access points that can already provide easily the data that the server is already processing to your main data centers or to your cloud data centers. So from there, uh, from the equipment itself, where it is getting, or from the information where the information is coming from, it can already assess or analyze those data, and then the filtered data will be the one to be directed to the data centers. Okay, so we also have some solutions for soundproof. So basically, these are the solutions wherein you can put into like the one I've discussed, like in offices or in schools, right? So this is a soundproof server rack, and then it basically reduces at least 18 decibels with regards to running the servers inside it, the power, and the cooling, right? So it comes an all-in-one solution wherein it already has the cooling solution and the power, the distribution, the cable management can all be there, right? So next would be the EcoStruxure MDC. So with this one, can go up to 3.5 kilowatts with its own air conditioning system, cooling system inside the rack. And then it has a backup fan system in case there will be some maintenance or trouble or challenges that's happening to the cooling, right? So this is an enclosed rack wherein you can also put in the fire suppression itself within the rack. So basically, this is an all-in-one data center, right? So for the ECMDC, basically, it's just also the EcoStruxure MDC. It's just that there are some functionalities that is not in EC, right? So, but with regards to the capabilities, pretty much they're all the same, right? So moving on to the three-phase UPS portfolio, right? So again, Schneider has already been there, always been protecting data center facilities, right, with regards to power. So we have three series actually of solutions for UPSs that we can offer. So we have the infrastructure solution, the ISX solution. So these are your Symmetras, the scalable UPSs in a rack. So and then we have the Galaxy V series. So these are the UPSs wherein these are also modular UPSs that can help support the requirements with regards to your data center or your machine requirements, right? So this has a very high efficiency capability with regards to double conversion and e-conversion. Later in the next slide, I'll be discussing further with this one. And then for the core, we have the EC UPSs. So these UPSs are, well, I might say a basic UPS that would still uh, provide the requirement or provide the support or reliability that you're looking for with regards to protecting your investments, right? So on the Galaxy VS and VL, so basically just some highlights. So it has a high efficiency rate, so it has a 97% efficiency using double conversion mode. Okay, and then it has a 99% efficiency with the patented e-conversion mode for Schneider. So basically, we are the only ones who have this, right? So it is also compact in design compared to the other capacities. The footprint that these UPSs would occupy would be very minimal. Okay, and then with this modules, these are also live swap modules. So these can be easily scaled up or scaled down with regards to modules. So these have increments of 50 kilowatt modules, right? That you can easily scale it up or scale it down, right? Without any interruption. So it is also ready for lithium ion batteries. So for longer life and compact footprint for batteries, right? So, and of course, this can be connected to the EcoStruxure software of Schneider. Okay, just a breeze through of cooling portfolio. So, with regards to cooling data centers, we have the different kinds, right? So we have the room cooling, your precision, your PACU, as we call it, the it can be an air cooled type, chilled water type, the fan walls. Okay, so we also have in-row cooling, the ones that you put in between the racks. Okay, so it can be also chilled water or direct expansion or DX, right? So air distribution, we have the cold aisle, hot aisle containment, uh, airflow management or active floor, right? So chillers, we have different sizes and capacities, and it can have air cooled, water cooled, free cooling, and from all of the mechanical requirements that you'll be using for your cooling, we can provide. We have the solution for it actually. And then, of course, our modular modular containerized data center, right? So there are different models or kinds of these containerized data centers. So we have the all-in-one, wherein you could, it's already integrated the racks, the UPS, the panel boards, and everything in one container. So you can basically deploy it in a parking lot or wherever you would need an instant data center actually. So this can also come in different configurations. So it can be one container just all for the power for the switchboards, all switchboards or probably an all UPS container or the cooling as well can be put into that. So it really depends on what would be the requirement. But basically, this is a flexible solution, especially if there are no really space within the premises or within the building that you can do your upgrades or scaling up of your system, right? So next, EcoStruxure. So EcoStruxure and IT. So basically, this is the centralized monitoring for all the systems, and it is vendor agnostic device management as well, and this can be accessed to any device, right? So traditional approach, basically, uh, before usually it is separate. So you have for each for each domain, like for example, or each component, you have a different means of monitoring, right? So there are multiple networks of different vendors that you have to talk to and everything, right? And then of course there will be different procurement model since there will be different packages, and then the monitoring or management of these systems are all siloed. Okay? So of course the operators would have the burden to learn to manage all of these, right? And then when it comes to troubleshooting, of course, definitely it's going to be complex because it's not really all of these are not really interconnected or not really talking to each other, right? So and then since it's distributed, of course, it expects it's going to be higher capital and operational costs, right? And then the efficiency. This will be the challenge as well in how in making the system more efficient since each of these systems are not really talking to each other. So how do we do it, right? So it is best that you have a common network infrastructure in one platform. You would have all of the different disciplines or aspects that you wanted to monitor in one platform. So with that, there will be only one common user interface, right? So it's very easy for the staff for the ones who's going to be operating it, right? So and overall, it's going to be more reliable because it's one system and you would see all of it, and you would see already if there's something going on with the different equipment that you're trying to look at, right? So with this, of course, you can reduce the capital costs and energy efficiency since everything is in one umbrella or in one dashboard. You can see from which aspect is really not, or which aspect of those things that you're monitoring is not really performing well, right? So from there you can pinpoint where you can have some optimization, and of course it will be more efficient as well to be managed, right, by the staff. So actually, EcoStruxure is a Schneider's name for IoT enabled, open, and interoperable system architecture. So in the case of EcoStruxure, the system is comprised of three levels. So you have the connected products, the edge control software, and the apps, analytics, and services. So the layers connect to each other through the flow of data over IT networks. Of course, cybersecurity technologies and practices are used at each level to ensure protection. So the EcoStruxure architecture maximizes the value of data to deliver improved safety, reliability, efficiency, and sustainability for customers and their data centers. Okay, so for the connected products, the Internet of Things or IoT starts with the best thing, right? So our IoT enabled best-in-class connected products include breakers, drives, UPS, relays, aircon sensors, right? So devices with embedded intelligence drive better decision making throughout the operation. Okay, so for the edge control, so this mission critical scenarios can be unpredictable, right? So control of the devices at the edge and the IoT network actually is a must. So this essential capability actually provides real-time solutions that enable local control at the edge, protecting safety and uptime. Okay, so applications, analytics, and service. Okay, so interoperability is actually imperative to support the diverse hardware and system in building data center industry, the grid, and end markets, right? So EcoStruxure actually enables a breadth of agnostic applications, analytics, and services for seamless enterprise integrations. So just a quick high-level architecture or overview, right? So, so as I've said, everything would be in one single dashboard. So on the left side, this will be the components that you usually monitor using your BMS. Then on the left side, this is the usual DCIM that you have, right? So basically, for an EcoStruxure, you can have the mix of both. So you can have the best of both worlds. So because for BMS, it's only BMS. For DCIM, it's just DCIM. It's two separate systems. So I have not seen a system right now wherein it can integrate or you can use the two system or integrate them together in one single pane of glass. So for this, for EcoStruxure, you can, right? So basically you can all do the monitorings and the management of all your equipment, your chillers, your air conditioning, your lighting, your temperature, the sensors, while you can also do at the same time capacity planning in your data center, change management in your data center, and of course you can optimize the data, the how your data center works, or how you can other what are the other things that you can do to optimize your data center. So everything in one dashboard. So this is I think one of the unique aspects of EcoStruxure, right? So basically, what does it solve? Right? Of course, delayed server deployment. Of course, you can do the uh, capacity optimization, right? So operationally inefficient and missed expectation. So how do you decide where to put the next server, IT equipment, or how do you know if you have enough power or cooling, right? So downtime. So downtime and critical systems result in missed market opportunities, of course, revised customer loyalties, and even failed companies, right? So this is how you avoid actually some damage to the brand or to the business that you're looking at actually. So of course, and then location. So as I've said, with Edge, there are different things that you can do with it, right? You can put it in different areas or different locations of your of your office, and then of course with an increasing need for optimized operations, and the co-location providers would like to know uh, how much power, right, the tenant are using, and how much capacity is left, of course. So even small tweaks will have a large impact on the bottom line, right? So we will need to know where all these assets are located so we can track usage and now which capacities are available to sell. So and which have been reserved also, being able to identify if there are any capacity constraints either on the power, cooling, network, or space, right? So, or actually, if running out of capacity and when that would have an impact on the business. So the key values here are assets within context planning, next move, and being able to simulate impacts in controlled manner. So of course, you wanted visibility. You wanted visibility in all the equipments or all the devices that you're looking at to 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 identify or to monitor or manage whatever or how is it doing right now. Okay, and then again, managing your assets. So this is where it will help you and make things easier for you with regards if you have thousands or hundreds of thousands to manage. This would really help you optimize how you manage and maintain these assets, right? So actually, Schneider, uh, it's really a business position, right? So Schneider is positioned to enable the digital transformation actually for its customers. Business are undergoing deep digital transformation to get ahead in the new digital economy. And we believe that an edge data center management software integrated system and an ecosystem of partnership, okay, would help simplify the design and deployment and management at the edge, ultimately providing our customers with certainty in their digital transformation. So again, these three things are really imperative and important, like in having a cohesive environment. So you have to be able to manage. You have the ecosystem of partners, and of course, you have an integrated system.